Hey guys, what's in Madrid here? Doing another astrology reading. Today we'll be doing a famous person astrology reading. Today we'll be doing the reading of Emiru, who's a Twitch streamer, cosplayer, plays video games online, streams a lot. Her name is Emily Schunk, born on January 3rd, 1998. So broadly, Emiru is a Capricorn and she is born in 98, which is the year of the tiger. But because she was born January 3rd, before the Chinese New Year, she actually belongs to the animal before the tiger, which is the ox. And 1997 to the start of 1998, that is the element of fire. So she is a Capricorn fire ox. Yeah. All right. So Capricorn fire ox. Let's start talking about her chart. So when you look at an astrology chart, you have the ascendant, the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, all the way through to Pluto. Now, your ascendant is the sign that was facing in the east at the time you were born. So because I don't know your time of birth, I can't actually tell you what your ascendant sign is. So let's say you are Capricorn. So if you were born 6 a.m. in the morning, your ascendant sign would very likely be a Capricorn as well. From let's say 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., your ascendant will be Capricorn. If you were born from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., you would be the sign after Capricorn, which means your ascendant would be in Aquarius. Now, I don't know what your ascendant, what your time of birth is, so we're just going to skip your ascending signs, also known as the rising sign. All right, so your sun is in Capricorn and your moon is in Pisces. So your sun is the personality, the sign that everyone knows you at, and the moon is like your inner emotional self. So having your sun in Capricorn will give you all those earth sign traits of a Capricorn, which are like reliability, being responsible, um, just usual Capricorn stuff, ambition, good strategy, good at leadership and using other people. And then the moon in Pisces. So Pisces is like it's the last sign of the wheel. And it's a very sensitive sign. If you ever look at fishes swimming in a pond, if you so much as touch the water or you throw a rock in, they just dash away. And that's what Pisces is like. They're just very avoidant of anything that's like intense or like anything that's like a shock or anything that's too heavy. The Pisces, because they're so sensitive, they'll absorb all of it and it'll cause them to like panic or emotionally shut down for a moment. And then now let's look at the biggest chunk of your sign. So even though you are Capricorn, you have one sun in Capricorn, and then you have this Neptune here, which is on the edge of Aquarius. So it's 29 degrees Capricorn. So it still is Capricorn, But if you look at this border here, what this is telling you is that everything here is kind of clumped together. So you have your Jupiter, your Mars, your Uranus, Venus, all of these are in Aquarius. So you have 4 planets in Aquarius. Meanwhile, you have 2 planets in Capricorn. And the Capricorn planets, like Neptune, isn't even that important on your chart. Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. These because these planets are closer to the sun, they have more impact on your chart. So even though you're Capricorn, you're an Aquarian Capricorn. And the ruling planet for Capricorn is Saturn, I think. Let me have a check. Saturn ruling planet. Yeah, Saturn, Cronus. Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by the planet Saturn and its opposite sign is Cancer. Alright, so because you're a Capricorn, your ruling planet is Saturn, which means wherever Saturn is, that sign is also going to be huge in your chart. So your Saturn is in Aries. Now, Aries is like a very forward, very blunt, very direct kind of sign. It's not particularly thoughtful or particularly nuanced. It sees what it wants and it goes after it in the most direct fashion possible. Now, this is actually an amazing sign for your Saturn to be in. Capricorn are very steadfast. They're very cautious. They don't take risks. They don't take chance. And a lot of the times they miss out on opportunities because they are so risk averse. Now, Aries is the most risk taking, the most reckless of the signs. So you are an Aquarian Capricorn, a very Aquarius influenced Capricorn. When you look at horoscopes and you read about like, oh, what is going on with Capricorn, you should be reading what's going on with Aquarius because that's going to be more relevant to you than what's going on in Capricorn. Now, when you have Saturn in Aries, this lends you this like ferocity. So imagine Saturn and Capricorn are like earth. It's like clay, right? Clay is soft and moldable, and when it dries, it goes hard. Now, how do you turn clay into pottery? You do this by adding heat. By using a kiln, you put your pottery into the kiln, you fire it up, you add fire to earth, and then you make something lasting, useful, and very practical. You get pottery by combining the earth of Capricorn and the fire of Aries. You get pottery. Like clay and fire gives you pottery. And then you are Aquarius on top of this. So if you know anything about Aquarius, Aquarius is the water pourer. So when you look at Aquarius, It is someone pouring water from a vessel, yeah? A vessel. And you could even argue that this vessel is made of clay. So this is you. This is your Capricorn clay that's been fired with the Saturn, which is your Capricorn ruling planet in Aries. So that fire and that earth has formed together to give you this vessel. And then your Aquarian side, you fill it up with all of your unique, interesting, progressive, weird, nerdy, waifu, weeb, anime, strange. It's just weird in general. And Aquarius is the most sexually liberal, the most surprising, the most shocking, the most revolutionary, the most boundary pushing sign there is. So when you have Venus, which is your relationships, romantic relationships, and your finance, there is a high chance that you're going to end up like bisexual or something. And your Mars and your Venus are both in Aquarius. So Mars is like the more masculine, physical, sexual side of your of who you are, like your physical sexuality. Venus is more like your emotional uh it's more your emotional, how you talk to people, how you relate to them, that kind of relationship. So yeah, to have Venus and Mars both in Aquarius, you're going to be quite interesting when it comes to relationships. So yeah, you're probably going to be gay and then straight and then bi and then lesbian, and I don't know, it gets pretty confusing. And because Aquarius is so progressive, you're just going to be inventing these new definitions and sexual terms. Mm. So yeah, if you go to the site, alabe.com/free chart, you can make your own little chart and it'll tell you it'll give you the basic information. It'll give you the stuff that you kind of already know. Wichita. Yeah, I don't get it. Why is it Kansas, but it's Arkansas? Isn't it Arkansas? Why is it Kansas and Arkansas? Isn't it? Yeah, anyway. So here you see your chart and it will tell you what your sign in Aries means, what your sun in Capricorn means, what your moon in Pisces, Mercury in Sagittarius, Venus in Aquarius, Mars in Aquarius. All right, Venus in Aquarius. You are a friendly and outgoing individual, but close relationships are difficult for you to maintain due to your fear that they will cause you to lose your freedom. You attract friends and associates who are exciting, different, and sometimes a bit odd. You are popular with others and enjoying within a group towards group goals. So yeah, I think as a Aquarius, you're going to be pretty social in general, but Forming close relationships might be difficult for you. Yeah, you love your freedom. You want to be free. You want to be free to pour your water over everything. Mars in Aquarius. Your ideas and opinions are usually inventive and original, but sometimes they are merely eccentric and offbeat. You are altruistic. You will work hard for the attainment of group goals as long as they meet your high standards. You tend to resent traditional authority figures because you think that your ideas are better thought out and more valuable than theirs. Very idealistic. You are a rebel with a cause. Very inventive and original. Sometimes a bit eccentric and offbeat. All right. All right. So let's look at Saturn in Aries. You are aloof, independent, and standoffish. This is mainly due to your fears that others might inhibit or restrict you, and quite frankly, you feel that you can govern your life by your own standards. Be careful not to associate with those who are overly critical of you, or you will withdraw so deeply into your shell that you will become very lonely. You have the ability to stand on your own 2 feet and to make up your own mind, albeit very carefully and cautiously, but you are known for your circumspection and therefore are respected and admired. Circumspection. The quality of being wary and unwilling to take risks. Prudence. The quality of being wary and unwilling. Interesting. So this makes sense. How this will play out is there will be things that you want to do in your heart, but you will be very cautious about executing them, and you'll be very timid in doing these things. So for example, there was a clip of you at a Renaissance festival and you asked the shopkeeper if you could hold the Nadachi. And like I could tell you really wanted to hold the sword, right? But you were also very scared and cautious at the same time. Now, it's good that you were cautious because you're playing with a sword, right? But let's say you were in another situation. Let's say you saw someone who looked really cool and you wanted to take a picture with them or whatever, but you're like too hesitant to ask, or you see them and you're like, yeah, they're kind of busy. I don't want to like impose myself on them. And then you'll start doing like all these mental, not gymnastics, but you'll be going through all of these logical and rational reasons of why you shouldn't approach them and ask for the autograph or photo or whatever. Now, you are Capricorn, so naturally you're going to be more reserved by nature because so your father is German and your mother is Chinese, right? So the Capricorn is going to resonate a lot with your Chinese side. So in the year of the zodiac, you're born in the year of the ox. So the ox is, I would say, very similar to Taurus in Western astrology. The ox is like a bull. Taurus is like a cow. So they are both very steadfast, very like solid types of people. Now, when you have the year of ox, people born in these years are said to have certain traits, such as being hardworking, loyal, and patient. And you can see the years of the ox here, 1997. Traits of the people born in the year of the ox: strengths: hardworking, loyal, honest, responsible, logical, patient. Weaknesses: conservative, stubborn, overly cautious, less talkative. Known for being stable, discreet, dutiful, and faithful. Compatibility: best matched with rat, snake, and rooster. Possible careers: lawyers, doctors, teachers, politicians, and technicians. The Year of the Ox is celebrated in many Asian countries, including China, Korea, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Malaysia. Year of the Fire Ox, and will occur again in 60 years. So the next Fire Ox will be 2057, or 2057. So the year of the Fire Ox was born from February 7, 1997 to January 27, 1998. So a lot of people are going to see you're born in 98 and assume your year of the tiger, and then you can correct them and tell them that you're actually born in the year of the Fire Ox. All right, characteristics are said to be clever and versatile because the ox is steady, but the fire just adds so much like warmth. It adds so much energy to the stubborn ox. Like when you take beef and you add fire to it, you get barbecue, you get steak, brisket, charcoal meats, other beef roasts. Like you get insane meals when you add fire and ox together, right? Okay. They may get overexcited under pressure and forget to consider those around them. They may be industrious. Yes. Because you are Chinese ox, you are industrious. Because you are German, you are even more industrious. And then when you put Chinese and German background into like an American upbringing, you just have someone who's very industrious and hardworking, but you also have the American confidence, leadership, and direct action. So to be German Chinese raised in America is such a good combination. China and Germany. Sorry, my nose is a bit blocked. So China and Germany are like very reserved, very powerful, titan manufacturing country. China is the biggest manufacturer and country in Asia. Germany is the biggest manufacturer and country in that area of Europe. Now, to combine these two, you get a very sort of cautious, hardworking person. But then you raise yourself in America and bro, you have got such a combination. You have the industrial foundation of hard work, smarts, knowledge, looks, charisma, humility, attention to detail, ability to sew and things like that. And then you put like the American, like, yeah, man, we smoke weed, we eat burgers, we, drink Coors Light, Budweiser. Yeah, we drink Budweiser. Like you just barbecue on the grill, fireworks, just shooting machine guns into the sky. Like you have the confidence and the leadership ability of the American, and then you have the hardworking, industrious nature of the Chinese and German. and you're just going to be a very successful person. You're going to be like the Empress Wu. So in China, there's always been emperors. It's always male. But then there was this one woman, Wu Zetian, who managed to become the empress. Anyway, so let's get back to your chart. So Uranus in Aquarius, you and most of your peer group as well are reformers at heart. You want to make positive changes that will benefit society as a whole. You are willing to devote your time and energy to see that they come about, especially if the proper group support and combined purpose of will can be found, like OTK. Be careful that your devotion to group goals does not produce too much friction or neglect in your own interpersonal one-on-one relationships. So yeah, people like Asmongold, they're really going to lend you this attitude of not caring that is going to be so valuable to you because your moon is in Pisces. Now, I know very well about moon in Pisces. So let's have a read. You have strong feelings and are extremely sensitive. It would help if you had a thicker skin. You tend to react emotionally to every situation you come across. Kind, gentle, and considerate of the feelings of others. You are good at taking care of the sick, wounded, and helpless, but you tend to absorb the energy of others. So avoid those who are always negative. You have a rich, creative, and lively imagination, but you should be careful not to spend all your time daydreaming. Or this could be phrased, you should be careful not to spend all your time degening, being a degenerate. Yeah. So here they call it daydreaming. As streamers and gamers, we call this degenerating. Very intuitive. You have good ESP and maybe quite clairvoyant or psychic. Yes. So you're going to be able to pass information that hasn't even risen to the conscious surface yet. It's like when you see an expression of someone across the room, you already know the situation that that person is and what's going on around them. You don't even need to walk over and ask, hey, are you okay? You know from intuition what's going on. Remember that you too have the right to get what you want from life. If you are always defensive and kowtowing to others, people will take advantage of you and exploit you. Now, my moon is in Pisces, so I know very well what it's like to be overly sensitive, to need thicker skin, to be kowtowing and defensive, and to have other people take advantage of you. Moon in Pisces is also very prone to dreaming. So I'm going to grab a book. So yeah, I'll just show you this book. Parker's Astrology. So let's see what this book has to say about Moon in Pisces. The Moon in Pisces. This placing of the moon shows that the coming together of two forces that are extremely highly charged. The emotional content of Pisces is powerful, and when the moon falls in this sign, the responses to all situations will also be emotional. This is not the type of emotion found, for instance, in fiery Aries, which is warlike. It is a very different force discharged through very different channels and for different reasons. So Aries gets their strength out from fighting, physical activities, doing martial arts. Pisces get their emotions out by swimming in the ocean, taking a bath, lying down in nature, and just fully imagine like an ocean filling up. Yeah, the tides come in, and then all of that water and tide has to go out again. And so when all the tides come in, your emotions are really strong. And then when they crash out and then they dissolve, you just feel like you are no one, you know? So emotional responses. The individual is easily moved, whether to great happiness or sadness. He or she may be moved to tears by a piece of music that rings nostalgic bells or affected in an above average way when scenes of disaster flash onto the television screen. So yeah, if you hear songs or you see things, you get emotional. The response will be to do something kind and charitable, perhaps sending hard-earned cash to aid those in distress, even to the point of self-denial. Yeah, you will give money that you need for yourself to eat to others so that they can eat. If creativity is shown in other areas of the chart, this placing will add sensitive and imagination to the way in which it is expressed. Yeah, like cosplaying, you're going to be really good at it because you're going to have like a feel and the details and stuff. You're going to be good at your artistic thing. However, the moon in this sign may weaken the character, encouraging the subject to take the line of least resistance, especially when challenged. As a result, there will be a tendency to tell lies and to be very deceptive, not only towards others, but to the self as well. When the subject does deceive others, her excuse will be that lies are less hurtful than the truth, and those lies will be told with an astonishing spontaneity. Yeah, the Pisces ability to lie and act is unparalleled because you cannot discern the border between reality and fiction anymore. When you act, you are both believing it and acting it at the same time. When the subject does deceive others, her excuse will be that lies are less hurtful than the truth, and those lies will be told with an astonishing spontaneity. Parents with children who have this placing must be kind and understanding, but firmly guide in making their offspring to realize that truthfulness is the best course. Negative tendencies, a warning should be given to the subject that, like those with a Piscean sun or ascendant, she may react adversely to medically administered drugs. When under stress, she must be strong enough to resist the extra cigarette or drink or game of Marvel Rivals or extra TV series or that extra slice of pizza or that extra few hours of scrolling on TikTok, looking at videos, giving way to any form of negative escapism can become a habit that is hard to break. A positive contribution of Moon and Pisces. The positive, caring, sacrificial qualities of this placing will contribute much if the individual has a sense of vocation, which you do because you're Capricorn, fire ox, you have a lot of sense of vocation. Vocation means work. They are also valuable traits if she is involved in any of the caring professions, such as nurse, since the subject will have an understanding of those needing help and an ability to give a favorable and sympathetic impression to anyone who is underprivileged. So yeah, you always helping the poor. All right. Now, Jupiter in Aquarius, Neptune in Capricorn, Mercury in Sagittarius. So Mercury is your thinking brain. It is the brain that does calculations, arithmetic, logic, communication, talking to others, and quick decisions. Whereas your Jupiter is more about your broad philosophical mind. It is about your raison d'etre, your reason of life, reason of existing. It's about your philosophy. Whereas your Mercury is about your day-to-day thinking, communication. Mercury in Sagittarius. Your mind is very curious and inquisitive, always seeking in the information on a wide range of topics. That's right, you like to learn a little bit about everything. The broader the subject matter, philosophy, science, religion, metaphysics, the more it will appeal to you. You prefer to deal with abstractions, the small but important details associated with any subject tend to slip your grasp. You are known for being blunt, honest, and truthful. Yeah, you're not very good at acting or like putting on a face. But your moon in Pisces allows you to be deceptive. So people will look at you and they're going to go, oh, she's so monotone. Look at Emiru. She has no emotions. What a monotone person who can't act or express emotions. But then when crap happens, it's like that Pisces mask facade can activate so quickly and subtly that people will still think you are your monotone self when you've already like become another person, you know? Yeah, it's literally that quick. And if you ever study drama or like playing another person, you'll be really good at it. You'll be like, oh, I'm happy, I'm laughing. And then suddenly you'll be like, and then you're another person. So your shift in emotional sort of display is very quick, very agile. You can be very weak and small, or you can be like absolute raging, like keyboard slamming. Imagine you've just lost 8 games in a row in league, and then you're playing Misfortune, and then you do your ult, and then you ulted too early, so no one is in your ulti, and then you're like slamming your keyboard, and then your healer comes in. Look, I don't play League, all right? I'm a Dota player. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Yeah, so you have this philosophical mind, right? But you also, that is blunt truth and honest, but you also can be very deceptive, right? Very manipulative. And then, yeah, to combine both of these, you will have a lot of situations covered. Now, the only thing I would be concerned about is doing like fine, detailed, agile calculations. So Mercury is how your brain runs. Having Mercury in Sagittarius is a philosophical, centaur, archer, high aiming kind of sign. It is not good at meticulous logic and detail. It wants broad subject matter like philosophy, religion, metaphysics. And what this means is when you are playing like a video game or doing something and a fight breaks out and you have to do these very quick, precise calculations and executions that require timing and aiming and hand-eye coordination, you will struggle with this because your mind is so broad. You're thinking about how to win the war. You're not thinking about how am I going to react or parry or dodge this skill so I can cast my own. You're so focused on the narrow, big picture, you forget about the moment to moment minutia, the details of the day. So that's something to think about. Yeah. All right. Now your Neptune is in Capricorn. Neptune is like the dreamer sign. Neptune is all oceans, Poseidon, under the sea, waves, subconsciousness. This being in Capricorn is quite good because Capricorn is the earth sign. So you and your entire generation will idealize work, practicality, and the ability to attain reasonable goals. But because you will also stress the need to be selfless and giving, you may find it difficult to attain your goals unless you have lowered your expectations on all fronts. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I feel like you are very practical with your goals. Someone like Mizkif, he's going to be more, he's going to have more broader, more vague goals. He's going to have goals like, I want to do something, I want to create something in real life. Like Mizkif started playing games and streaming when he was young. He's starting to grow out of that. He's starting to want something meaningful and it's very vague and ambitious. Whereas your goals are not really like that. Your goals are more like, let me get to this anime convention. Let me build this costume. Let me get to Diamond on Marvel Rivals. Let me host a Chinese New Year's party for people. Like your goals are very practical and attainable, pragmatic. All right. Pluto in Sagittarius. For your entire generation, society's cherished beliefs and totems will be radically changed. Yeah, you don't believe in the old ways. Many traditional concepts will be totally altered, if not completely destroyed. The rights of individuals to pursue their own course in life will be reasserted. Yeah. So yeah, I think you're going to be a game changer, you know? You're here to break the pattern. You're here to make your own path. And because you're American, you don't give a fuck what other people think. You have full confidence. But because you're Chinese German, you have also suffered defeat. So you understand humility. Yeah, that's right. Your dad, you guys lost the war twice. In China, oof, mate, China built a wall to keep Mongolians from attacking them. And China got attacked by Japan so many times. Like, maybe you've heard of the rape of Nanjing massacre? Nanjing 大逃杀, yeah. Like China and Germany, they are very down-to-earth, pragmatic, humble cultures. Whereas America has never been defeated in war. So they are a young, youthful, proud, confident country that is protected by the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean, Canada, Mexico. So it has never lost a war. There is zero humility. So for you to have this sort of upbringing, you're going to be a very balanced person. You're going to have the confidence and the leadership when it's needed. You're going to have the humility, the industriousness and hard work when that's needed. Chinese people are some of the hardest working people on the planet. And Germans are some of the most mechanically minded people on the planet. But the problem with Chinese people and German people is that they both lack confidence. For example, if a Chinese person, a Chinese guy, sees a girl they like, they will try to find out more about this girl via talking to friends and other people. So the Chinese guy is going to talk to everyone. He's going to find out her name, where she lives, where she grew up, who she likes, if she has a boyfriend, if she wants to be in a relationship. And after all of the research has been done and the caution due diligence followed, then the Chinese person will maybe bring like a small gift or something and be like, oh, would you like to go on a date or something? So it's very cautious, very planned, very low confidence, very risk averse. And then the way Germans, like the way a German man would approach a German girl he likes, they would kind of be like, standing in the corner of the club, looking really slick and well dressed. Like German guys dress well, like they're very well put together men. And then they'll be like, oh, das bin eine schön, Fräulein. Ja, ja, oh, sie bist so schön. Ja, ja, ich will ein R sprechen. And then they'll just stand there in the corner and like dance and try to make eye contact. Like they're just not going to walk up to the girl and talk to them. Now, if you know Americans, if you know Australians, like Yanks and Aussies, we're just like, yeah, what a babe, what a hottie. Just walk right up. Hey girl, how are you today? You look nice. You come out here to the beach? Yeah, we're all out here on the beach, man. Good weather today, huh? Like you just send it. You just walk right up to them and we just send it. We're not like, God, I gotta find out if she's single or not. Otherwise, I might ask her out and she's single and I'll get rejected. Oh no. Like, yeah. So I'm Taiwanese. So people in Taiwan came from China. Like China had a civil war. The Communist Party and the Democratic Party had a fight. The Democratic Party lost and they went to Taiwan. So I'm Taiwanese, which means genetically, like I'm Chinese. So when I say I'm Chinese, I'm talking culturally, historically. So genetically. So I've experienced that cautious nature of like trying to buy a girl a gift and be like, oh, hey, do you want to go out for a cup of coffee sometime? Like, it's always sort of like, oh, can I buy you a drink? Can I buy you something? Like, that's how Asian guys, that's how Chinese men operate. They're like, in order for me to get this girl, I have to show material possession. Like, it's never just like, hey, I'm just going to be fucking me, fucking super confident. Let's just walk up to this girl and be like, hey, girl, you want to dance? Like, why do you have to be so reserved and scared all the time, you know? And then, like a German guy probably only confess to the girl when the girl is like very obviously into them. Like they're sitting and they're like all cuddling up and they're like leaning in to kiss. It's only when it's that certain that the German and even the Chinese guy will be like, oh, okay, I have successfully courted this girl. Now I can kiss her. And I get that because like when I went to university, right, I could go to Queensland University of Technology for industrial design, or I also applied to University of Queensland for commerce. Now my grade was not good enough to get into University of Queensland to study commerce finance. So I would have to go in to do a year of an arts degree and then do my commerce degree. So for me, I was like, do I go to do industrial design or do I go to UQ? And then I met a girl at the end of my last year of high school. So we have this thing called schoolies, which is just like a week of partying at the end of high school. And I met this girl there. I talked to her for a few minutes. Like we hung out for 2 or 3 hours one afternoon. And that was enough for me to go, okay, I heard she's going to the University of Queensland. I'm going to go to University of Queensland, do the arts degree, and then transfer to commerce. Like I have a commerce degree majoring in finance, minoring in accounting. Like I have a finance degree, not an industrial design degree, because I met this girl at a party and I talked to her and I liked her. Like, like I am absolutely stupid when it comes to girls. But now I'm a little bit older. I've become more Australian in my style of pursuing women. Yeah, which is just you just you just send it. You just go for it. Like, and for you to grow up in America, you will have that just send it attitude as well, which is really beneficial for you. All right. So let's have a look at your North Node. Your North Node is in 12 degrees of Virgo. North Node is about your life's goals. It's about what you should be doing in this lifetime, yeah? You are usually quite at ease in leaving leadership roles in the hands of others. You would rather tend to the 1,001 details that need to be accomplished to keep any group going, Although you're very fussy and high-minded when it comes to choosing your associates, once your loyalty is given, you can be trusted with many of the practical aspects of any project that is being undertaken. Usually quite unselfish, you will toil your long hours in the service of any worthy cause that demands your attention. But be careful that your perfectionist tendencies don't get in the way of making real progress. In other words, don't waste your time dusting clean shelves. So Virgo is a very anal, very critical, very detailed oriented, very servicing, very dutiful sign. The main problem with Virgo is getting too caught up in all the details, is to be very critical of others as well. And this is a very Virgo thing. Like you will pull out extremely tight arguments from like years and years ago and drill people with it, and people will just hate it because you're criticizing them about such small things that happened years ago that they've probably already forgotten about. But because you're so anal and detail oriented, you're not going to forgive and forget. Pisces is all about forgiving and forgetting. Virgo is all about keeping accounts. Yeah. Okay, let's see what the book says. Influences of the North Node in sign and house. So, sign Virgo. Key point. So this is your goal in this life. Must learn to work well with others to curb nagging and criticism. North Node in Virgo. It is as if the negative qualities of Virgo are emphasized here. The subject must do everything possible to control nagging and criticism of other people, especially colleagues, as these traits really can cause problems in the workplace. See if breadth of vision and a more philosophical attitude is indicated elsewhere in the chart, which it is, which it is. You have your Capricorn, you have your Mercury in Sagittarius, very philosophically minded. Capricorn, Sun in Capricorn, ambitious, like structured, reliable, strategic. You have stuff in your sign that will mitigate this curbing nagging of North Node in Virgo. But you need to be aware of this criticism and nagging. Yeah. Okay. So let's have a look. So I think I've covered a lot of what the individual planets in each sign mean. Let me have a look. Yes, Sun in Capricorn, extremely serious and mature. You are capable of accepting responsibilities and do so willingly. Others expect you to be dutiful as a matter of course. You tend to get angry when people get rewards after not having worked anywhere near as hard as you. Oh, bro, this is so true. Like, I don't know you, but you seem like someone who harbors resentment. Like, in the moment, you'll be like, oh, you kind of get flustered and you just let the other person have their way. And then you feel like this resentment right after. You are goal oriented and an achiever by nature. You're a hard worker and are justifiably proud of the tangible results of your efforts. Yeah, you've done a lot. You've done very well. You tend to have tunnel vision. This allows you to block out extraneous matters that might distract others and to concentrate totally on the matter at hand. Yeah, you do get tunnel vision, which is good, but it's not always a good thing. Like in League, you don't always want to be tunnel vision. In fact, you probably don't want to be tunnel vision at all in League, right? As such, you are the ideal one to manage or administrate any ongoing project and to be practical and efficient at it. You are not a fast worker, but you are quite thorough. You are known for being totally persistent, tenacious, and tireless in reaching your goals. Yeah, I think so. You, yeah, you're hardworking, you just grind it. You just grind it out. Like, because you're an ox Capricorn, I know that if I don't see you for 5 years, 5 years later, you will just be trotting on the same path. You'll be doing the same thing, but it won't be exactly the same because you will have been getting better at it and better and better and better and better, right? But you're not going to be doing crazy new things. And this is something to consider. You want, rather than just being really, really, really good at one thing, maybe spread out your hobbies a bit. Try have fun a bit more rather than just always playing video games. Try, I don't know, like flower arranging or like sword fighting. I mean, if you like swords, I mean, you're into swords, right? Yeah, like reminds me of Mulan, who was my favorite growing up. Yeah, it makes sense that you like Mulan. I feel like, I feel like you would be able to do that. Like you have that kind of character where where you can where you can carry, like Hua Mulan was like someone who saw a responsibility of war. And she, as a woman, stepped up to fulfill that role that men should be doing. So she not only stepped up, but she excelled as well. So yeah, you can consider doing things like flower arrangement or um, learning like Iaido. I don't know if you know what Iaido is, or like Kenjutsu. So Iaido is like a martial art. Oh, I don't know if it is a martial art. It's more like a form, yeah? Form. It's like a form. So you can practice this by yourself. Like you don't have to go to, you don't have to go to a gym. You can just do this like in your room or whatever. And since you're into swords, since you're into like Mulan and you have like a Chinese background and you like anime, I'm guessing, like you can practice this, it's because it teaches you how to use your weapon a little bit. Like you're not going to be good at fighting, but at least you're going to know how to pull your sword and kind of defend yourself, right? Like what's the point of having a sword if you can't use it at all? You know? yeah. So that's more. If you want to do like Western stuff, there's also, it's called HEMA. Uh, so this is people actually. This is people like this is PvP, yeah. So idol is more like PvE, whereas HEMA is like PvP. So I'll show you this cool thing. Like, if you can learn, yeah, like whether you do this kind of stuff or you just do, or you just kind of do like, you do your solo drills, or you do like, you do like partner drills, right? Yeah, but either way, it's just so much fun. Like that's why I have these three here, you know, because to train with a sword, especially if you like swords, it feels really good. Feels really good. So yeah, I would recommend, you know, just have a look into it. If you like swords, have a look into it. Don't just focus on like Marvel Watch Rivals and World of Warcraft and League and whatever. Like, mix up your hobbies a little bit, you know? All right. Let's see. Is there anything else? Jupiter in Aquarius. Your personal growth occurs when you have the freedom to do things in new and interesting ways. This brings out your natural inventiveness. You are an individualist, but you are also attracted to mass movements that emphasize social betterment, and you will devote much time and energy to their efforts. Very fair-minded and objective, you have extraordinary skills at organization and administration. Yep, that's true. Very true. All right, so that is the planets in each of the signs by itself. Now, how long are we into the video? An hour 08. All right, so we've talked about each planet in each of the signs and what that means. The next thing we're going to talk about is elements, modality, and aspects. So every sign has an element. Capricorn is an earth sign. Sagittarius is a fire sign. Scorpio is a water sign. Libra is an air sign. So every sign has an element. So it goes fire, earth, air, water, fire, earth, air, water, fire, earth, air, water. Four elements, 3 times each, 12 signs. Every sign also has a modality, which means every sign is either cardinal, fixed, or mutable. Cardinal is like the starter, is the beginner, is the person who initiates activity, is the person who finds new experiences and new things to do. Fixed is the person who is remaining, the person who is doing the same thing, the person who grinds it out. Yeah? And then mutable is the changer. It's the ender. It's the person who comes in, ends everything, and changes it. So again, it goes cardinal, fixed, mutable, cardinal, fixed, mutable, cardinal, fixed, mutable. So 3 and then 4 times. So that's 3 times 4, which is 12. So Aries is a fire sign and it is a cardinal sign. Leo is a fire sign, but it is a fixed sign. Sagittarius is a fire sign, but it is a mutable modality. So in a business, Aries will be the person who starts the business, who comes up with the idea of the business. They are the cardinal ones. Leo is the fixed sign. Leo is the sign that will work at the company and take it from being a small company to being a big, successful company. That is the fixed sign. And then you have Sagittarius, which is the mutable sign. Sagittarius is the sign that will come and either sell the company off in an initial public offering, which is basically to go public, go on the stock exchange, or I'm going to add another branch to the business. Maybe we sell cars. Well, now we're going to sell cars and trucks. Maybe we sell cars. Now we're going to sell cars and service cars and do car washing. It's like, or we're just going to get rid of cars altogether and switch to operating a food truck. Like the Sagittarius is the person who's going to come in and change things. So Aries is cardinal and it is fire. So it is the person that starts things, and fire in general is a very heated sign. Triplicities. The first and most interesting and revealing characteristics are defined by the triplicities, sometimes called the elements. These consist of fire signs, earth signs, air signs, and water signs. Generally, tradition decrees that fire signs are by nature enthusiastic, earth signs have practical, air signs intellectual and have a need to communicate, and water signs emotional. You will often find that people who share a strong emphasis on signs are of one or other triplicity turn out to be compatible. The quadruplicities or qualities. The second grouping is known that as quadruplicities or qualities, cardinal, fixed, or mutable. Basically, we can say that the cardinal signs tend to be outgoing, the fixed signs tend to be rigid in their opinions, and the mutable signs tend to be flexible and adaptable. So, yeah. That's the signs and all their triplicities and quadruplicities. So every sign, for example, Capricorn. Capricorn is the third earth sign. Therefore, it's actually cardinal. It's cardinal and it's earth. So earth is the steadfast, reliable sign. Cardinal is the sign that goes out and does stuff. So to be Capricorn, you are both practical and you also go out and do stuff. So you're ambitious as well. So it's a good combination, right? Now, Sagittarius is a mutable sign and it is fire. So fire already is like crackling and burning and changing. Mutable sign is very changing. So Sagittarius is just going to be out there. It's going to be broad, you know. Whereas if you look at a Taurus, so Taurus is a fixed sign and it is an earth sign. So earth is already stable and reliable. Being fixed means you're even more reliable. And to have double Taurus and like earth and fixed just makes you really stubborn. But also makes you reliable, but also makes you stubborn, right? Now, Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign, but it's fixed. That's why it's so weird. And its symbol is the water bearer. It's like, what, you're an earth sign and your uh your your picture is water being poured? Like, what? Now air is not fixed. Air is just always flowing around. It's a gas. But to have an air that is fixed, it's like, oh, that's a weird combination, right? Because air is moving, there's wind. But to have something that's moving, that's fixed, it's a bit of a paradox, right? And that's why Aquarius is kind of the odd sign. Now, you know that Aries is the first sign, Pisces is the last sign. That means, in general, Aries is much less mature and Pisces is much more mature, much more adult. So you have so much in Aquarius, Capricorn, Sagittarius, Pisces. Like, you are a very serious, mature, not impulsive, not fun having, like, always so serious and reserved all the time. Thankfully, thank the fucking gods that your Saturn is in Aries. Because you're Capricorn, your ruling planet is Saturn, which means whatever sign your ruling planet is has just as much effect as where your sun is. So your sun is in Capricorn, your ruling planet, Saturn, is in Aries, and you have 4 things in Aquarius. So when you look uh, hold on. Alrighty. Serious, bro? So let's just start drawing on this baby. So you are, even though you are Capricorn, you are an Aries Capricorn, yeah? Because your Saturn is in Aries. So you're an Aries Capricorn. And you have so much stuff in Aquarius, yeah? That you are also very Aquarius. So when you look at your horoscope in a magazine, look at Capricorn, look at Aquarius, and look at Aries. Because these 3 things are going to be all relevant to you. Okay. Yeah, so we're starting to get to the part of the reading where we go into interpretations, where we go into aspects. So this will be the kind of the last thing I talk about, I guess, because we've covered what Sun in Capricorn means, what Mercury in Sagittarius means, what Pluto in Sagittarius means, what Saturn in Aries means, what Moon in Pisces means. Like, we know what each of them mean individually. But see these lines in the center here, these colored lines? These are called aspects. So these are the angles at which your planets relate to each other. So you got what I call a diamond looking shape. See how you have one point here and then everything else is like kind of like a diamond that points to this one point. So whatever this is in your chart, it's very, very important. And this was the North Node in Virgo. This was about curbing your nagging, curbing your criticism, curbing like your just being mean to people. You gotta cut people some slack, and maybe cut yourself some slack as well. Don't be so selfless and giving, because your moon in Pisces makes you feel and see, experience everything. You are so empathic. You feel drawn towards everyone. And then your North Node in Virgo, this will make you super critical and kind of detached from people. So see how there's a red line here between these two? This is called an opposition, like this aspect, 180 degrees opposite. So it's at 18 degrees Pisces, 12 degrees Virgo. So that means we are at 180, subtract 6, 174 degrees, right? So 180 is the perfect opposition. 6 degrees out is still valid. It's still going to play a part. Maybe if your Pisces was at like 1 degree here. If it was 1 degree Pisces and this was at 14, it would be 13 degrees off opposite. It's not going to be as strong. But here, because it's only 6 degrees off 180, it's still going to be very prevalent. And this is going to cause you grief in your life, honestly, because a part of you wants to help others, but then there's a part of you that disdains others and criticizes them. So when people associate with you, they're going to be like, oh, Emiru is so nice and so like responsible, and she's like so chill and cool. But then you'll have these like aspects of you, like Aries, Saturn in Aries, Moon in Pisces, North Node in Virgo. Like these things will come out, and you'll be like, oh, she's so emotional. She's so raging and angry. Like, oh, why did she slam the table so hard? Like, where did this angry girl suddenly come out of? So when they see you, all they see is the moon in Pisces. All they see is like the sun in Capricorn, the Mercury in Sagittarius. These make you like steadfast, robust, reliable, mature, yeah, empathetic, humble, like beautiful. Yeah. But then you have like these things, Mars in Aquarius, Saturn in Aries. So Mars is like your physical strength, your like how you dominate people, or when you play video games, like that aggressive mindset of shutting the enemy down. All of that comes through Mars. And because your Mars is in Aquarius, that's not a very good sign for Mars to be in. You're not going to be a good, strong fighter / warrior. Because Mars in Aquarius, your ideas and opinions are usually inventive and original, but sometimes they are merely eccentric and offbeat. When you're fighting in war, like your mindset has to be really direct and straightforward. By having like your aggression be channeled into offbeat and eccentric things, that's not good for your league. It's not good for your Marvel rivals, It's not good for your ranked gameplay. You are altruistic. You will work hard for the attainment of group goals as long as they meet your high standards. So you're going to be playing a lot of healer and tank or fill roles, and you're not going to be happy about it because you don't really want to play those roles. And then when your team sucks, you're just going to be like, ugh, kind of resentful. And then in the back of your head, you'll be like, man, if I could just hop on my fucking DPS, we would have raped this game, right? But because Mars in Aquarius, you're just not born for war. You're just not going to be good at war. You're just not going to be good at Warcraft, you know? And that's why you want to train these things like in real life, because it doesn't matter if you're good at video games, but not being good, not being able to fight in real life, like that matters, you know? Even though you're not getting into physical altercations, to know that you can destroy an opponent will give you so much more confidence, and your back will be straight when you start training, you know? Your posture will be automatically corrected, because when you fight, your posture is you're just naturally going to put yourself in a good posture, because you're not going to be in this like league mode all the time, yeah? Okay. So yeah, this opposition is absolutely going to be a problem. And here you have some right angles as well. See how there's a red line here between your Pluto and Sagittarius and your Virgo. This is like a 90 degree. This is like a 90-degree right angle. So this is bad as well. If you look at opposite, Virgo and Pisces, opposite signs, water and earth, they're like, yep, they're on the other side. If we look at Sagittarius and Virgo, they are both right angles. So these are both mutable signs. Mutable signs. And this aspect is problematic because Sagittarius wants to be broad and philosophical. Virgo wants to be critical and detail oriented. Sagittarius has a broad business plan that is announced to the world. Virgo is worried about the bookkeeping, whether the tables are wiped. Do we have enough chairs for our guests today? Is the microphone close enough that we can hear audio properly? Is the camera set up at a good angle? Like Virgo is worrying about the detail. Sagittarius is like, bro, we're doing hardcore WoW today. Like, are we doing ZF today? We're doing like AQ20, or maybe do some upper black rock deaths. Like maybe we can do some enchanting and get our mount. Like Sagittarian plans are vague. They're general goals, whereas Virgo plans are very detailed oriented. So when you execute a task, sometimes your brain will try to do two things at once. It will try to execute the goal, the planning, and it will try to execute the fine minutia detail as well. So that's why Sagittarius and Virgo will have this 90-degree angle problem. So this Virgo is having a problem with your moon in Pisces, and it's also having a problem with your Mercury Sagittarius, your Pluto Sagittarius, yeah? So that's why I call it the diamond, because everything just focuses onto one single point. Like every facet of this diamond serves to concentrate light into this one point, which is your Virgo North Node. So let's have a look. Virgo North Node meaning. In astrology, a Virgo North Node can indicate a person's tendency to be organized, practical, precise in their approach in life. It can also suggest that they may feel uncomfortable being forgiven and may fear making mistakes. So yeah, you see this a lot in League and Marvel, you know, like you're scared of making mistakes, but you also don't want to be forgiven because you're not a baby. Like you hate being babied by people. You hate being like infantilized or patronized or like less than you are, you know? People see you as like a weak girl, yeah? When really you're like practical, precise, you know? You're like so responsible and organized. You're aggressive, but not overly, not reckless. And then you also have the fire ox, which will lend so much balance and character to who you are as a person, right? Now now we're getting close to the end. Yeah. I'm trying to summarize all of this in one picture, yeah? So we got the fire ox, Capricorn. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. So you have fire ox and your Capricorn, and then your Saturn. Your Saturn is in Aries. So Capricorn is Earth, Ox is Earth. You have fire in your Ox, and your ruling planet, Saturn, is in Aries, which is a fire sign. Yeah. So we have fire Earth. We have fire. We have fire Ox, and then we have an Aries, Capricorn. Now, Capricorn is Earth. Aries is fire. So both the Ox and the Capricorn belong to Earth, and Aries, your ruling Saturn sign, and the element of your Chinese zodiac are both fire. Yeah? So you have fire, and then earth. Yeah, we got the Ox, we got the Capricorn, we got the fire element, and then we have Aries. So you are fire, earth. Yeah. Now to make it even more interesting, you have all this stuff in Aquarius. Yeah. Okay. fire, 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 earth, earth. So yes. Fire. So this sign is Aries. This is Cap. This is Ox. Fire. And then you have all this Aquarius stuff as well, which is quite interesting. It's like fire, fire, earth, earth, and then Aquarius is technically air. Is air, but it is, as you know, so even though Aquarius is an air sign, it is still, it's also like a water pouring sign as well. It's kind of, it's like the air sign, but it's kind of water as well. Yeah, it's kind of water as well. So this vessel, this is you. This vessel is made out of earth, and it has been hardened by fire, and then you've filled it with your uniqueness, who you are as a human being. And then through streaming, you pour yourself and who you are out into the world. Yeah, this is what you do. Your fire earth vessel is just here to help you spread your message across the world. Yeah, and your message is going to be one of openness, progress, openness, progress, humility, empathy, goal-oriented, ambitious. I can see that you will become Emily the Empress of which. And your biggest rival biggest rival is the Queen of Twitch. Rivaled by. So yes, you were destined. You were destined for great things. You have to beware, though, of overworking. You have to be careful of nagging. You have to be careful of you have to be wary of kowtowing to others as well. Like always selecting tank or support, or like always playing the role that you don't really want to play. And then when you guys lose it, you'll be like, oh, well, but then inside you will be resentful. You can also be risk averse. So this is related to being, you know how I was talking about how Chinese guys need to find out about the girl before they'll go chat them up, and German guys are like dancing in the corner, like too scared to approach. You have to be worried about that for yourself as well. Like, don't have such low self-worth. Yeah. You're the fucking, you're the empress, you know? You don't have to like bow down to people and shit. Yeah. So this is related to overworking, like doing too much for others. Yeah, for others. So yeah, these are all points that you need to be care of, you know. And then there's also we also have to worry about your moon in Pisces. So your moon in Pisces, yeah, this is flood, torrential rain, ocean, waves, subconscious, drowning, dreaming, dimensional travel, astral projection, deceiving, lies to the self, ability to shit. Yes, so the moon in Pisces is very sensitive. Now, because of your sort of framework, yeah, because of your framework, of being fire, ox, Aries, Capricorn, this moon in Pisces can be contained for you because you have the ox and you have the Capricorn, yeah? Fire and Aries, this is not going to mix well with your Pisces. When you mix fire and water, you get steam, you fog things up, you make things less clear. When you put earth and water, you suddenly have a vessel to contain the water. You channel the water. You guide the water where you want it to go. So to deal with this Piscean heart, this moon in Pisces, your pragmatic ox and Capricorn side are naturally going to take over when your heart, when your moon in Pisces is overwhelmed. So it's okay, but you just have to understand why this is happening. If you try to use your fiery side or your Aries side to charge your moon in Pisces, it's not going to work. Like when you are in playing a game or playing World of Warcraft and you do something wrong or you die in hardcore, if people try to go, oh man, just go again, bro, don't worry about it, just do it, like they approach it with a very fire aggressive sign, you will not respond to this. You will just shut off and say, hey, I don't like this, I'm quitting. Because the moon in Pisces is a quitter. Yeah. Like they don't even enter. There's nothing to quit to begin with because they never started in the first place, right? So we have the moon in Pisces. It cannot be guided by the Aries. It cannot be guided by the fire in the ox. It needs the earth, the way a riverbank channels water downstream. It controls and directs the flow of the water and makes it into something useful. Like the reason we have hydroelectricity is because the earth is channeling that water. If we just mix fire and water, we get steam, you know, that doesn't really help us that much. Yeah. So, I mean, like you could make an argument for steam powered, right? But I'm just talking in nature. When like volcano mixes in with the ocean, you get steam. When water meets the earth, it gets channeled into a river. When water enters a vessel, it becomes a clay jar, you know, that can hold the water. So your life is about creating this clay jar so that your moon in Pisces heart can feel safe enough to express itself. And with your German, Chinese, industrious, humble, war-losing background, accompanied with your American war-winning, never lost a battle, American pride, USA, barbecuing, living in Austin, Texas, land of the free, right? You have so many different forces that are just coming together to make you such an interesting and amazing human being. So yeah, that's about it. That's the end of the video. I hope that was informative. I'll see you guys.